Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and you were doing well today. All right, so today we are here to empower you. We're here to uplift you, motivate, and encourage you. Our topic for today is moving with confidence while facing the unknown and carrying yesterday's baggage. I thank you all for tuning in today to Empowering Others to Excel. I am your empowerment strategist, Jacqueline Jobs, and we are currently live on WMEG Radio, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you have not followed any of those pages, please feel free to go like, subscribe, share, do the things that you need to do to let other people know, hey, I like her. She has something to say. Maybe you need to tune in as well. So won't you go ahead and do that for me right now? And once again, our topic for today is moving with confidence while facing the unknown and carrying yesterday's baggage. Now, our topic from last week was taking the next steps, leaving the crossroads, and you took the next steps. Now what? Our last week's session was packed. It was packed with a lot of information. And this week is going to be kind of the same thing. So get your pencils, get your paper out, take some notes because we're going to be going through a lot of things that are going to help you out. So last week, some of our key takeaways. Understanding the crossroads. And we talk about the crossroads a lot, but we broke down understanding the crossroads. A crossroad is a moment in life when you must decide first what you want to be, what direction you want to take, what you're willing to let go of, and what you're ready to step into. I already heard somebody go, I need to go back and watch that segment. Yes, go back and watch that segment. The next topic was what keeps you stuck? Fear of the unknown, overthinking everything, past failures, comfort zones, waiting for the perfect timing. Now, we already know there is no such thing as the perfect timing. There is no such thing. And then we had two more topics. What it takes to take the next step. What does it take to take the next step? Make peace with not knowing everything. Quiet the noise. Take one small step. Trust God more than your feelings. Reframe the crossroad setup. And when I say that, it means the crossroad is not blocking you. It is positioning you for more. It is positioning you for greater. So you have to reframe that thinking. Then the last one was you took the next step. Now what? Because a lot of us, we like, okay, I took that step. I went ahead and I did that thing. So now what? So this is what you need to expect. Expect resistance. It is normal. And people be like, what? Like I must have did something wrong because I'm getting a lot of pushback. No, expect it. You took that next step. You went ahead on your own and said, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do this thing. You're going to get resistance. You're going to get resistance. Why? Because the enemy don't want you to succeed. The enemy don't want you to get what is yours. So they're going to try to throw roadblocks in, stumbling blocks. They're going to people who you thought were for you, and now you see, oh, they were against you. Expect this resistance. It is normal. When you get this resistance, don't back down because you already have a target in mind, a goal set, what it is that you want to achieve. So don't back down. Keep moving forward. Next, don't look for immediate results. A lot of times we say, okay, I did this. Now I'm just waiting because it's going to happen. Don't expect it. Next one, keep your pace. Don't rush the process. Create structure and discipline. We need routines. We need discipline. And then surround yourself with the right support. There were a few more, but because of time and we got to get through all the rest of it, I am just going to leave you with these tidbits, this little bit of information and review from last week. Now, if you want, go back, look on YouTube, go back and watch the last segment. It was a lot of good nuggets in there that will help you out. So go back and watch the next segment. So good morning to all those who are tuning in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in because I know after Thanksgiving and eating the leftovers yesterday and then being with families and friends, you just want to be left alone today. You just want to relax. So thank you for getting up early with me and tuning in. Don't worry, I have some good things for you today. So it will not be in vain that you got up to tune in with us today. Okay, so our topic for today, moving with confidence while facing the unknown and carrying yesterday's baggage. Moving with confidence while facing the unknown, while carrying yesterday's baggage. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Okay, now the talking points for this. Everyone wants to move confidently. I do. I didn't dove out there into the next step. Now I want to be able to walk with confidence and a surety that I know the choice that I decided to make was the right one. I want that confidence. I want to be assured of that. But the thing about it is, most of the time we're dealing with something and we don't have that confidence that we want. We're all dealing with something and we don't have that confidence that we want. Now, another thing that you need to realize is we don't wait to heal completely before living. A lot of people say, I got to get through this, and this completely before I can do this. And most of the time, you heal while you're going through the process. You heal while you're going through the process. So some things you can't put off because you like, I know that I had this going on and I had this going on. Sometimes while you're moving and while you're doing the things that you need to do for your growth to progress, that is when the healing becomes. So we need to be aware of that. There is healing in the movement. Confidence is not the absence of fear or uncertainty. It is, I'm moving anyway because I trust there is something greater ahead. And that is where we all need to be. I am moving anyway because I trust that there is something greater ahead. I'm going to make this decision anyway because I trust that there is something better out there for me. I'm going to say no to this and yes to this because this opportunity has come my way and I want to see it through. So that is what we need to be saying to ourselves. That's what we need to do to encourage ourselves. Now, the question that I want to throw out there, what is something you've been afraid to step into because the future feels unclear? What is something that you have been afraid to step into because the future feels unclear? I want you to think about that because a lot of times, because we're in that place of uncertainty, and we just don't know if we made the right decision. So now it's just like, I don't know. Like, should I go ahead and move and do this thing? And that's a lot of times that comes with the overthinking, which we're going to talk about a little later on. So I just want you to think about that. Now, we're going to briefly discuss understanding the unknown. And this is going to be different from our previous topic of talking about understanding the unknown. This is talking about why the unknown triggers fear. Why does the unknown triggers fear? First, the brain is wired to seek safety, familiarity, and predictability. And this is one of those things that I share and I teach with parents when I do my parent workshops under Teacher Mommy Mommy Teacher. As a parent, we are our child's safe place. The brain seeks safety, familiarity, and predictability. So as a child is growing, They lean towards those things that feel safe to them, those things that are familiar, and the predictability, meaning like the routines and the schedules. So that is what our brain is wired to. So as soon as we step into the unknown, it's like danger, danger, danger. Why? Because we don't know what's going to happen. There is no predictability that is about to happen. Everything is I don't know. Familiarity, we looking for it. Like, does anything seem familiar? So that is why when we step into the unknown, it triggers fear immediately because there's no predictability. There's no familiarity. And we want to feel safe in the choices that we made. Next one, the unknown removes our sense of control. The unknown removes our sense of control. Good morning, Nikki. Because a lot of times we want to know that we have everything under control, or at least like if we understand what the process is, we can change it if we feel uncomfortable. But when we step into that unknown, we are not ready to change anything because we don't even know what is about to happen. So we're just walking blindfolded and trusting that what we have already submitted ourselves to is going to work out for our good. Next, we start imagining the worst. Yes, those worst case scenarios like, okay, now I did this, but what if this happened? How am I going to get out of this? I mean, you're sitting here playing it in your head, you're thinking about it. Those worst case scenarios, those are triggered through the unknown and the fear. And then the next one is the unknown forces us to trust instead of plan. And that is uncomfortable. Yes. Trust instead of planning. That's that part about not having control. Because when you have control, you can plan it out. You can write it down. This is how I want it to go. We're going to do A, B, C, and D. And then if D falls apart, we're going to have another thing in place. But when you're stepping into that unknown, you don't have a plan. You don't have a plan. You're just letting go and letting God. So now we're just like, okay, I just got to trust and believe that everything is going to work out. So that is why fear is triggered when we are in the unknown. So now I want you to think about this. When you think about the future, what emotions rise first? Is it fear, excitement, doubt, or hope? When you think about the future, what is the first emotion that you begin to feel? Is it fear, excitement? Is it doubt or hope? Because a lot of times, remember, our future is unknown to us unless we have it planned out. It is unknown. So if it's unknown, guess what you're going to start triggering? That fear is going to come up. That doubt is going to come up. You might have some glimpse of, oh my goodness, I'm excited. Yes, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. But then other stuff is going to come up. So I want you to stop and think about that. And then I want you to name 3 unknowns you're facing right now. Name 3 unknowns that you are facing right now. Now, while you're naming your 3 unknowns, I'm probably going to jump into this part and it's going to probably touch on some of your unknowns. The next topic is what baggage really means and how it shows up today. Because a lot of us, we have baggage. Some of us say, oh, I don't have baggages. But the more you reflect upon yourself and you start thinking about things, you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that this triggered that. Like, why do I act like that? And you start thinking about things and you're like, oh my goodness, because of this situation that happened then. All of these things are baggage. So what baggage really means and how it shows up today. Some baggage can be, I'm going to give you some examples of baggage. Past trauma, betrayal or heartbreak, childhood wounds, failures, mistakes, missed opportunities, guilt or shame, people's opinions. Financial status could be baggage. You could be going with debt and you're carrying that and it's weighing heavy on you. So those are different types of baggage. And that is how it can show up today in your relationship. That is how it can show up. Different types of baggage. Good morning, Miss Diane. Good morning. Good morning. Now, how baggage shows up. Now, we already listed the different types. Now, this is how it shows up. Overthinking, fear of starting, imposter syndrome. I'm going to break these down for you in a little bit. Avoiding new relationships, expecting disappointment, being overly independent and overly dependent, self-sabotage. So this is how baggage can show up. So now let's talk about that for a minute. When we're talking about overthinking, overthinking happens when your mind keeps replaying the same thoughts, same scenarios, and then it's the what ifs. So your mind is replaying same thoughts, same scenarios, and then it's the what ifs. Because have you ever had a situation that played out and then you stopped later on and you sat there and thought about that situation and then you started to replay that situation over and over again, but with different endings because you already know it played out one way. So now you're gonna go back. What if I did this? Now, how would that have turned out? But what if I would have said this? What would have happened next? That is you overthinking. That is you overthinking. And when you're overthinking, it makes decisions hard and it makes it hard for you to move forward. It drains your energy and it keeps you stuck. And that is not what we want. We don't want to be stuck. We don't want our energy drained. We have other things going on in our life that drains our energy, and we don't want overthinking to be one of them. And the next one is fear of starting. Fear of starting. Now, this fear of starting can cripple you and paralyze you, especially if you are stepping out in the unknown and you are doing something that is so far outside of being inside of your normal box. You can be crippled to the point that you can't move because of that fear. And then when you're in that crippling state, it's like, oh my goodness, what did I just do? Like, why did I do that? And then you're trying to find ways to backtrack and get out of what it is that you did. Fear of starting can do that to you. And then with the fear of starting, it also helps, it starts with the fear of failure. Because before you even start, you're already saying, I'm going to fail. I'm going to mess this up. This is too much for me. I'm not equipped to handle this. So all of those thoughts start to come in. So you are just paralyzed. You're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. You didn't even start yet. But now you have all of these other thoughts coming at you. And you're thinking, you're speaking it out loud that you're going to fail. You're thinking it that you're going to fail. You're playing it over and over your head, what's going to happen and how you're going to fail. That is all part of the fear of failure. There's fear of judgment that comes in there, not feeling fully ready, fully equipped. And that's one thing we have to realize. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. And every day we walk into situations where we have to make something up on the spot. Every day something happens where we have to make something up on the spot. Yes, a lot of times we're going through our normal routine, so everything seems normal, like, oh, I can handle this. I've been through this before. La, 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 la. Yes. But then every now and then something comes up and it's like, whoa, like, what's this? And it just throws you off. But guess what? You make something up on the fly, you get it handled, you get it done, and you move forward. So that's one thing I need you to understand. The fear of starting should not be something that paralyzes you because why? All you have to do is take that small step. Whatever that thing is, take that one small step and then just continue to take small steps and continue to take small steps until that momentum grows and that courage builds. But all you have to do is take that one step. You decided to do it, take the one small step. Next one is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is the belief that you're not capable, talented, or deserving as people think you are. Even with evidence of success, you are still like, no, I can't do this. You feel like you're a fraud. You feel like, who am I that they should be listening to me? Now, and it's funny because in the beginning, when I first started this for empowering others to excel, because this was a branch off of Teacher Mind Mommy Teaching. And I was sitting there like, who am I that people are going to listen to me? But I'm looking like I have a wealth of knowledge. So that imposter syndrome was trying to seek in and it was trying to deter me from doing this because it was like, oh no, there are so many more qualified people out here who can do this. There are people who are older than me, who have more knowledge than me, that can help people through this. There are other life coaches out there. So why are they going to listen to me? So yes, that imposter syndrome snuck in, but I had to shut it down. I had to shut it down because I know that I was trained. I went through training for this. So I'm not sitting here calling myself a life coach and I didn't go through any training. No, I went through my courses and my classes for this, got certified in this. And then life experiences teach you so much. So once you include your life experiences in your training, it's just like, oh, yes, you are qualified for this. You are qualified for this. So don't ever sit there and doubt what it is that had been placed in you, those gifts, those talents, what you have learned, the skills, the knowledge. Don't doubt it. You are qualified for where you're going in your next. So don't doubt it. Next one is avoiding new relationships. This happens because of past hurts, betrayal, disappointments. And you're like, I'm just better off by myself. Yes, but being by yourself can be a lonely place. And yeah, sometimes you have to be by yourself for a season. But that doesn't mean that's how your life is supposed to go for the rest of your life. So I want you, and then that time of avoiding new relationships, you feel as though you're protecting yourself. You have your guard up, your wall up. You're like, I'm protecting myself. But in the process, you're not letting those individuals who were sent your way to bless you get in because you're on guard. So you need discernment on who to allow in your circle and who not to allow in your circle. Expecting disappointment. This is what a lot of us do sometimes as well. We already expect to fail. We're setting ourselves up for failure because they said they tried this and it didn't work for them, but they're not yet. I tried this before and it didn't work, but guess what? You tried it before, but you don't have the wisdom and the knowledge that you have now. You don't have the education that you had now. So now it will probably work for you. The timing wasn't right back then, but now it is. So expecting disappointments can also delay. Being overly independent and overly dependent. Yes. And see, I'm shaking my head for this because this is in me in agreement with this. Extreme independence develops when you feel you can only rely on yourself. Extreme dependence develops when you feel you need someone else to function. And see, me, I'm like, I can do this by myself. I can be a one-man show. I got this. And then after a while, it was like, oh, no, you need help. Like, you need to learn to ask for help. And that's where I had to get to the point where I had to learn to ask for help. I had to allow those people in to give me the support that I needed because I was, I got this. I got this. But no, I had to realize I need help and I need to allow people to help me. So that was an imbalance that I had in my life that I had to balance out. And then the last one that we're going to talk about is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is when your actions, your thoughts, and your habits undermine your own progress. It often shows up through procrastination, negative self-talk, unhealthy relationships, or shutting down opportunities because deep down you don't feel ready or worthy. So, for example, for this, if somebody come up to you and say, I have this opportunity for you, or I see that you're good at doing this with your hands, and I have this other job that I want you to do. Can you do it? And you're like, no, I'm not good at that. No, I can't do that. But yet that is one of your giftings. So you're self-sabotaging. Why? Because of fear. Why? Because of the unknown. You're so used to doing what it is that you are already doing that you're like, no, like I'm not going to step out and do this because I'm uncomfortable there. So we need to learn to not self-sabotage. All right. So good morning. Good morning to those who are tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. What I just went through is how baggage can show up in your life. We talked about the different baggages, but now I was explaining how baggage can show up in your life. So it was overthinking, fear of starting, imposter syndrome, avoiding new relationships, expecting disappointments, being overly independent and overly dependent, and then self-sabotage. So now I want you to stop and think, what part of yesterday still tries to speak into your today? What parts of yesterday still tries to speak into your today? And what I mean with that, I mean, our past is behind us, but yet some of that past keeps trying to come into our future, into our now, into our present. So what part is still trying to speak and you have to keep shutting it down? Is it fear of failure? Is it past trauma? Is it betrayal and heartbreak, childhood wounds, different failures and mistakes that you made over your life? Are they trying to speak now? Are they trying to dictate to you now how your life is going to be? Missed opportunities, guilt or shame, people's opinions. What part of your yesterday is trying to speak today? And just know that those parts that are trying to speak, we're going to shut it down. We're going to shut it down. We're going to take away its voice because it is no longer going to be a deterrent for us to move forward. So you all can drop that in the chat if you would like. What part of yesterday is still trying to speak today? Now, while we're dealing with that as well, our next segment is why confidence is still possible even with baggage. Why confidence is still possible even with baggage. Because a lot of people, I have all of this baggage. I have all of this baggage. So I don't want to take this baggage with me. I want to leave the baggage here. But then it's like when you leave something, you want to go back and pick it up because you feel like you left something. You have a hole, you have a void now because you dropped off that baggage. You dropped it off. But then like it was like, oh my goodness, I just feel so naked now. Like I missed that part. And you're just like, I missed that part of my life. Like, oh, I feel naked. So like you run back and you go get it. Like, okay, now I feel better now. I feel like I'm fully clothed now. I have everything I need. But the question is, did you really need that? Did you really need that? So what I want you to do when you start thinking about that, like, no, we're going to leave it there and we're going to replace that baggage with some positivity. We're going to replace that baggage with something that we really needed. Because a lot of times we're going to have those voids. Not a lot of times, it's all the way. When you decide to drop something off, those bad habits or whatever it is, and you decide to let them go, you feel as though there's a void now. There's a void because there's an empty space. But the thing is, we need to fill the void with things that are going to bring us life, joy, happiness. We don't want to fill the void with something that's going to cause us more pain, more heartache. But that's the thing, though. Once we decide that we're going to let things go, what comes at us first? More things that are going to deter us. So we're like, whoo, I'm letting it go. This is how we are. I'm letting it go. Some females, we have the moments where we cut our hair because it's like new life is being poured into us. Or we decide that we're going to change our environment, redo the house, however it is that we say we're letting it go. So we're getting a fresh start. And then when we do that, it's still like, okay, something's missing. And we're trying to figure out like, okay, what's something missing? Because I'm still here. I'm still myself, but something's missing. So now at that time, we're like, guess what? I'm going to go out here and try this new thing. As soon as you say you're going to try this new thing, something comes in like, no, you don't want to do that. Stick to what you were doing before. You know that worked. You know that works. So why are you going to try this? And you're sitting here like, well, yeah, that is true. And we have to realize when those things happen, we have to refute and negate those things. And like, no, I decided that this is what I want. I am going to move forward with my life. I am going to choose happiness. I'm going to choose me over other people. And in the process of me choosing me, I have to do this for myself. So I am going to step out and I'm going to do this new thing. But we have to realize confidence is not perfection because we want that confidence when we step out, but confidence is not perfection. Sometimes people feel that everything has to be perfect in order for you to move, and that's not the case. That's not the case because we are not perfect people. So there is not going to be like this perfect time because as soon as you think it's a perfect time, something's going to happen. And you're going to be like, oh, never mind, maybe tomorrow. And that's how the enemy works. So we need to realize confidence is not perfect. Confidence is permission. It is giving us permission to grow, to learn, to fail, and to keep going. And yes, there are going to be times when you fail, but in your failure, there is growth. In your failure, there is understanding. No, we don't want to fail. No, we don't. We want to go out there and put our best foot forward. We want to make our plans. We want to mark it off. I did this, I did this, I did this. And we want to see that goal being achieved. But guess what? In the process of failure, we're going to realize some things about ourselves that we need to change. We're going to realize some things about our thinking, our perspective, our mindset that needs to change. And that is a lot of times, it helps you to go forward because you have to be in that space where you become and you realize and you're more self-aware of yourself. Like, who are you? When you stop and think and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're sitting and you're driving, you're having one of those moments, like, who are you? And I want you to just, who are you? And then what can you say about yourself? If you ask yourself, who are you? When you spit it out there, what are the words that are coming out of your mouth? Are you somebody who's a go-getter? Are you somebody who's enthusiastic? Are you nonchalant? Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you an overthinker? Are you a self-sabotager? Are you a positive person? Are you a depressed person? Are you somebody who seeks out new opportunities? Are you somebody who shy away from new opportunities? I want you to stop and think, who are you? Who are you? Identify your strengths, identify your weaknesses. You need to know all of these things about yourselves. So that way, when situations come your way, you know how to handle them. And you're like, well, how you know how to handle them? Just because you know who you are. Because once you know who you are, you know what you will and will not accept. You know what you will and will not accept. So it's not easy for you to get distracted or deterred by flashy things, by things that sound good, because you be like, I know who I am. I know my worth and I know my value. And right now, oh no, you're making me seem like I am a $5 something when I'm not. I'm worth more than that. So you need to be able to understand who you are and then walk in that. Walk in that. No, it's not being cocky. It's just understanding who you are and then understanding what you will and will not accept. That's all that is. Now, confidence comes when you, or confidence comes from who God says you are, your identity. See? Connects. Who God says you are, your identity. What you survived, resilient. Because a lot of us has been through things that we have not shared with other people. And then you have shared some things with some other people. But guess what? You survived it. So that means you are resilient in that area, or you should be, meaning you're able to bounce back if that situation happens again. Or you're able to see it before it happens, and you know what to do to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So you survived it, your resilience. What you overcome. So there's evidence in your life that states that you overcame this, 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 and this. There was fruit that came from that. There is wisdom and knowledge that you gained from those things that you overcame. And then what you are capable of, your ability, those things that you are capable of. So confidence comes from all of that, your identity, your resilience, your evidence, and your ability. So I need you to remember that. So this is what I want you to understand right now. So first, do this for me. What is something your past taught you that actually built you strength or gave you strength? What is something that your past taught you that actually built strength into you? You can type it and share it in the chat, or you can just write it down on a sheet of paper. Like, this is something that gave me strength. This is something that happened in my past that gave me strength. Somebody else thought that this was going to break me down. And it might have for a minute, but once later on, and I went back and looked it over, evaluated it, broke it into parts, reflected upon it, I now have strength from it. So I want you to think about that. What is something from your past that taught you and it gave you strength? Write that down. And just know that you do not need everything figured out in your life to take the next step, to walk comfortably. I can't even get it out. Confidently. You don't need to know everything. Okay, so now here are some tools to build your confidence in the middle of chaos. I'm going to give you some tools to build your confidence in the middle of chaos. Oh, and I see some thoughts coming in. So some past incidents that have taught people they have strength. We have Miss Rosalind. She said, confidence to say no when I need to. Yes. Yes. We have Nikki, to do what is best for you, not trying to do what others want that is best for them. Yes. Yes. So those past situations, they will teach you some things. So that's one thing I want you to think about. Those past situations, especially the ones that put you like in a depressed state. I want you to think about those things and what did you learn from them? What did you learn from it? What did you gain strength from? Because some of them, you became a fighter. You became a fighter because you like, oh, this is not happening again. And you learned how to maneuver. You learned what to do. You became a fighter from those past situations. So that is strength in itself, because that, if you became a fighter, that is awesome. But that's one thing about becoming a fighter. You need to know when to fight and when not to fight. So yes, some past situations, some past traumas will cause you to be a fighter, but just know that you need to learn when to fight and when not to fight. Yes, and then we have, yes, that hurt you, feeling used. Yes. Yes, it'll give you strength. Also, and this is how you also know that it gave you strength, because there's something that happened to you in your past and it almost crippled you, shut you down. But now that you can go and you can talk to somebody else about it, and you can see where they're headed, and you can go, oh, wait a minute, I need to talk to you about some things. I need you to tell you a little bit about myself, because you might not know this about me, but I see this in you. And I want to be able to help you before you make the same mistake that I did, or you make the same choices that I made. So if you're able to go and share with somebody to help them before they make that mistake, guess what? You found your strength. Because a lot of times we look at situations and go, oh my goodness, like you're holding this guilt and this shame over your head about what you went through. But as you don't realize what you gained after the fact. And then the fact that you can go out and that you can help somebody else out who was in that situation, you gain strength from that. You gain understanding from that. You gain wisdom for that. And the fact that you went through it, that means you can help somebody else who's about to go through it. You see the warning signs. You know those warning signs. You're like, ooh, ooh, like I see it. I see it all over this individual. And you be like, this is almost just, you're like, you're looking and you see it like, this looks like me all over again. Guess what? Pull that individual aside and just say, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And then just go ahead and share. Like, I wanted to tell you this about myself. Because if you share about you first, it doesn't feel like you're attacking that individual. Because some people are like, I don't know how to go about sharing this stuff. Say, I just want to tell you about myself. Like, I've seen you a lot around. We see each other on a regular, but I don't really think that you know me. And there are some things about me that I think you might understand, or we might be have a connection with. So I just want to share some things. And you begin to tell the person, and that person's going to sit there, they're going to listen. That person might get quiet. So while you're doing this sharing, make sure you're watching that individual. They're gonna get quiet, especially if you were correct and your discernment was correct. They're going to get quiet while you're telling them this. And in the process of this, you're saying everything with love. And you're saying, I've been there, I did this, I see this is how where you're headed. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. So if I can help you in any way, guess what? I am here to help you. You need somebody to talk to, guess what? I am here. So those are some things. That means if you can do all of that, you gain strength from those past trauma, those past hurts, those past relationships, whatever it was that tried to break you, but it didn't. And you're still here. You survived it, you overcame it, you got resilience from it, you gained some type of strength. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That wasn't part of it, but I wanted to throw that out there for you all. Okay, so now here are some tools to build confidence in the middle of the chaos. First tool is grounding identity. Grounding in identity. Know who you are beyond your circumstances. And I said that, self-awareness. Know who you are. Write down, I'm a person who. I just told you that. Write down your list. Who are you? So write it down. Write down everything that you think describes you. Then identify your strengths and your weaknesses, and then identify those weaknesses that you want to build upon and create some little steps on how you're going to build upon them. Next one, truth over feelings. Truth over feelings. Feelings are real. We all have feelings. They are real, but they're not always accurate. So what I want you to do is reframe it. Replace I can't with I'm capable with effort. Because a lot of times we're going to feel one way, but yet that does not identify who we are and what we're capable of doing. So you need to be able to have somebody speak that truth into you. If you can't speak that truth into you, you need to have somebody else who can speak that truth into you, because they're going to help you to change your perspective. Step number 3 is micro steps. Take small actions to build momentum. Take small actions. Remember, you don't want to just dive in and try to take a huge leap. No, take small steps. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to see how this works. And as you're trying it out, you're feeling it out. Okay, some of these things work for me, some of these things don't. So the things that don't work for you, how can you change it? How can you revise it a little bit? And see, when I say revise and change, I didn't say, how can you go back? I didn't say that. I said, how can you change it? Because remember, you're taking steps to move forward. So you take that small step, you evaluate it, what worked, what didn't work, and then you try to revise some things. You're not going back, you're just revising some things, and then you're going to try it again. And then you're going to keep going, and then you're going to try it again. That is micro steps. So we had 1, grounding in identity. 2, truth over feelings. 3, micro steps. Next one, number 4, rewrite your narrative. Rewrite your narrative. Say this a lot. Change the negative to a positive. Change the negative to a positive. If someone tells you you can't, I can because, and then you explain why you can't. So instead of saying I failed before, reframe it. I learned what doesn't work for me. So you can remember, you're going to fail at some things, but what did you learn in the process of that failure? So it's not once a failure, always a failure. No, it is I failed before, but I learned what didn't work for me. So now I can do, and you go ahead and you do it. So reframe the narrative. Number 5, practice self-validation. Self-validation. Stop waiting for permission to be powerful. Self-validation. Validate yourself. Tell yourself you're worth it. Tell yourself you can. Some people, we out here and we just waiting for somebody else. If they say you can, then it's like, okay, I can. But you're sitting there the whole time like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. But it takes that one person who's always has your ear, that you're always talking to, and you're telling them this, you're telling them that. That one person say, you got this. And then all of a sudden, I got this. Like a superpower came over you. I got this. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. No, you need to learn to self-validate yourself. You need to be able to pour that life into you. Pour those words of wisdom into yourself before anybody else can. Because I want you to stop and think about, it just popped into my head. I see a lot of videos and clips on social media now where the dads are taking the daughters out at young ages and they're having dates with the daughters at young ages. Because they're teaching their daughter how to be treated at an early age. So that way, when the daughter does start to get involved in a relationship, they're not going to allow any old thing. And see, we need to teach ourselves. We need to pour into ourselves before somebody else starts pouring into us these negative things. So that way we are pouring into ourselves every day. Like, I am great. I can do this. I have confidence in this. I might not be sure of what's going to happen, but I'm going to trust the process. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to be able to pour that word into you. I am going to reap everything that I have sown. It has not been in vain. You're speaking that life into you. I am the head. I'm not the tail. I am the lender, not the borrower. You are pouring this stuff into you. Why? Because when that opportunity comes, you should already be like, yes, because I already received this word. I already told myself this word. So that way, like, for example, you're waiting on money. That money comes. I am the lender, not the borrower. So when that money comes, your mindset is already, it was made for me. Why? Because I am the lender. I'm not the borrower. I am the head and not the tail. Why? You might get a promotion at your job and you might have thought you was going to stay on the bottom level. And next thing you know, you got elevated. Why? Because you're the head and not the tail. So those are things that you have to begin to pour into yourself. Rewrite the narrative and then practice self-validation. Affirm yourself daily. Speak life into yourself daily. And then number 6, faith anchoring, which I just did also. Use scriptures, prayer to center yourself in truth, not fear. And it has to be truth, not fear, not opinions, truth. You got to be able to speak truth over yourself. Speak truth. And in the process of you speaking that truth, you are speaking life and you're pouring into yourself. So those were the tools to build confidence. Those were the tools to build confidence in the middle of chaos. Grounding in identity, truth over feeling, micro steps, rewrite your narrative, practice self-validating, and faith anchoring. Now, question for the audience once again. What is one small step you can take this week that moves you forward? One small step that you can take this week that will move you forward. I want you to share it. You had time to think out of all the stuff we talked about. What is one small step you can take this week that is going to move you forward? And while you're thinking about that and you're typing it in, our next segment portion is letting go of yesterday. I told you from the beginning that we had a lot of different topics that we wanted to cover in this today. So letting go of yesterday, releasing emotional weight. I wanted to get to this because a lot of us, we have a lot of emotional weight that we are carrying. And some of it, we don't even realize we're carrying. We just know that we feel heavy, we feel drained, and we don't know what it is. So I wanted to talk about this, letting go of yesterday, releasing emotional weight. You cannot walk boldly into tomorrow if yesterday is still holding your feet. That means those chains are still tethered to your ankles. And you need those chains to be broken off of you. So now we're going to talk about how can you release the emotional weight. Okay, we have Tammy said, stop having self-doubt. Speak positive into my life. Yes, yes. You can speak positive into yourself. You can start also with the okay, post-it notes. If you're that type of person, you have like post-it notes, you can post different positive remarks about yourself and post them on your bathroom wall, post them on your mirror, wherever things that you go to on a regular. You can have one on your visor in your car. So when you get in the car, be like, yes, you just agree with it. That's right. Yes. Sometimes you just read it. You don't even have to say anything because it's going to make you smile. And it's just going to change your overall thinking process. Because imagine if you have those out already and you already woke up and you felt like you were in some kind of mood and you just go into the bathroom and then you got all of this positivity just there and you just start looking at it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. All right. And it's going to just change your whole mood. So, yes. So, stop having self doubt, speak positive into your life. Yes, that is an awesome one to do. Now, letting go of yesterday, releasing emotional weight. There are four different strategies that we're going to talk about very quickly. Release what you can't change, release what's no longer your responsibility, release who hurt you, release who you used to be. So those are the four different releases that we're going to talk about briefly. Releasing what you can't change, release what is no longer your responsibility, release who hurt you, release who you used to be. Now, for releasing what you can't change, some things are permanently outside of our control. Some things are permanently outside of our control. Past mistakes, missed opportunities, other people's choices, seasons that didn't go the way we wanted to go. Ooh, yeah, I got a lot of those. But they are out of our control. It happened already. I can't change it. I can't do anything about it. It happened. It's done. So I need to release it. I need to not hold on to it. Stop dwelling on it because it's not going to do anything. You're going to become bitter over those past things. You're going to become depressed all over again because things didn't happen the way you wanted it to. So I need you to be able to release it, let it go. Holding on does not fix it. It does not solve it. It doesn't do anything. It weighs you down emotionally. It drains your strength. It weighs you down spiritually. And in the process of releasing it, it gives us freedom. It gives us freedom to see what is ahead of us. It gives us freedom to open up our hearts and our minds to new opportunities, new choices that need to be made. It opens up our perspective on how to handle different situations. So we need to release what we couldn't change, release it. It was in the past. We need to let it go. That thought might still be there, but we are releasing it and we're letting it go. Excuse me. Next one, release what you, let me get it right. Release what's no longer your responsibility. Excuse me. Okay, many people carry burdens that weren't meant for them. You carry burdens that weren't meant for them. All right, I'm about to cough again. Okay. We try to fix others. If you are one of those people who try to fix others, you're carrying their burden. You're carrying their hurt. You're carrying their pain. It was not your responsibility to carry. You need to let it go. Yes, you tried to be there for your friend. Yes, you tried to mentor your child, coach your child through the situation, and something happened as a result of it because they chose to do what they wanted to do anyway. People have choices. They can make their own decisions, but you're holding on to it. It wasn't your responsibility. You have to let it go. Sometimes we just hold on to other people's issues. We carry guilt from other people's actions, managing expectations. It wasn't your responsibility. It is no longer your responsibility. You have to let it go. This is one of those things for if you're a parent and you have grown children. You are a parent, you have grown children. You have to trust and believe that you have taught your children everything that is going to equip them for what it is they need in their future. You have to trust and believe that all of the knowledge that you had, you poured into them in some kind of way. So as they go out there and they venture off onto their own, they were rooted and grounded. They have a foundation. They have a foundation. So you have to believe that they are secure in what it is that they have as far as their foundation. And yes, they're going to go out there and they're going to make mistakes. And they're going to try things. And they're going to experiment. And they're going to do all of those things. But when they make those mistakes and those failures come in their life, guess what? You are not responsible. You are not responsible. You did what you were supposed to do as a parent. You even saw the situation happening before your eyes, and you gave them words of wisdom to try to help them out, but yet they chose not to listen. You are no longer responsible. So you have to let it play out, and then you just have to be there at the end of it all, and you just have to help them to maneuver and move forward. But you cannot carry those burdens. You cannot carry that. You cannot. That's a lot of things. Some people, we are the ones who feel like they have to be the caregivers. You carry a lot. You carry a lot. If you are that caregiver person in your family, you carry a lot. You carry everybody else's issues. You carry everybody else's pains, their hurts. If they confide in you and they're telling you all of this stuff, you are carrying all of that. You need to release that. It is no longer your responsibility. You gave them words of wisdom. You told them what they needed to do. You need to release it. Stop carrying things that were not meant for you to carry, because all it is doing is draining you emotionally, spiritually, and physically. It's causing you to have health issues because now you're stressed. Now you have anxiety, all because you're carrying things that were not meant for you to carry. Release who hurt you. I'm going to have to go through this quickly. We have 5 minutes left. Release who hurt you. Forgiveness is not saying, yes, they hurt me, it is okay. No. When you release who hurt you, that is for you. That is giving you the space that you need to heal. You're just acknowledging this happened to me, you hurt me, but I'm not going to allow this situation to hinder my growth. That is what it is saying. So in that process, you are letting it go. And once you let go of that hurt and you acknowledge that I'm not going to let this hinder me, there is a peace that is going to fall upon you. There is a peace that you have been searching for, that you have been wanting and longing for so long. But once you do this, it is going to fall upon you and you're just going to be like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So you need to release who hurt you. It is not for them. It is for you. Next, release who you used to be. Release who you used to be. Sometimes the hardest person to let go of is your old self, because your old self might have made a name for you back in the day. That old self might have been shaped out of fear, trauma, failure, or survival mode. But when you release who you used to be, you're making space for who you're becoming, because you cannot hold on to all of that. You cannot hold on to all of that. So just imagine if you have a glass vase or a mason jar. You have a mason jar and your old self is completely full in that mason jar. The lid is on. There's nothing else. There's not any room for anything else to go inside of this mason jar. So now, once you start releasing your old self, guess what? The lid's going to come off. Pride is going to come out of that mason jar. Hatred is going to come out of that mason jar. Past traumas that you held onto that you're releasing, it's going to come out of that mason jar. And your old self is in that jar, shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And guess what? Now you have time to fill other things up inside of the mason jar. I don't know why I thought of a mason jar, but yes, now you have space in there to grow. So that is what is happening when you release who you used to be. So I need you to start releasing the old. Out with the old, in with the new. New things are coming, new things are happening. So that means you need to let it go. So that's just like when you got to go in your closet and start throwing out some things. It is time for you to look inside of yourself and see what it is that you need to get rid of. Things that you have been holding on to, like a little kid holding on to that little comfort blanket. Guess what? You don't need that comfort blanket anymore. It's not comforting anything anymore. Now it's hindering you and it's holding you back. So now you need to let it go. So go now, look at yourself, think about it. What am I holding on to that I don't need anymore? Think about it. Things that are going on in your life that went on in your past, what are you holding on to that you do not need anymore? And then it's time for you to release it. Release it, let it go. And when you let it go, guess what? You're going to have space to grow. Other things are going to come inside of that spot. There might be a void for a little bit, but it's going to have other things that are going to help you in your new walk. So I need you to understand that. And then one thing I'm going to do really quickly, I have 2 minutes. Simple release exercise. You can write it down. One belief that they are releasing. Write down one belief you're releasing, one person they are releasing, and one version of themselves they are releasing. So this is just a simple release exercise. You're like, this is a lot to do. One belief that you're releasing. That's one belief about yourself or around the world around you, how you see things. One person you are releasing. One version of themselves they are releasing. Then I want you to say out loud, I am walking into my future lighter than before. Why? Because you just released some things. I am walking into my future lighter than before. Okay, I see somebody said we need another session on this. Like, yes, we can have that. We can have that. So these are the things that I need you to understand, because we don't want to bring the old into our new. We don't want to bring the old into our new. So for the 4 things, you can keep practicing on your own. Release what you can't change. Release what's no longer your responsibility. Release who hurt you, and release who you used to be. Yes. So yes, we are going to have a continuation, because I still had a whole nother segment that we needed to talk about. But now our time is running out, or it has ran out actually. So I hope that you all have gained some information from this, and that you are able to go into your new today, releasing some things. I am also putting in the works where I am going to have an overcoming session. I just have to find the place, the venue, and all of that. It's going to be an overcoming session. And then I also want to have a goal setting session that is going to be in January, where we can sit together and we can create goals to help us to move forward in our future. So I hope that you all have gained some knowledge from this. I thank you for tuning in today. Also, if you would like to partner with Empowering Others to Excel so that I can help continue to reach the masses, touch people who need to be uplifted and motivated, you can do so by partnering with us and using Cash App at EOEchangeagent.com. Any amount is greatly appreciated if you would like to partner with us. And until next time, I want you to release, relax, relate, release. Remember that from different world, y'all. Relax, relate, release. Release some things on this week. So until next time, y'all be blessed.